Good morning and salutations from Dude in a Bunker. This was a photography job titled Visual Communications, and the guy in the email was trying to upsell it, and it was like, basically, this is like a director of photography position, and not director of photography like cinematography, director of photography as in the person who heads up all the pods that are working on all of the original series for Netflix. And right off the bat, if you're a photographer and the idea of working as the pod director for all of the original series of Netflix as their photography director is basically, I don't know what way to say it that's better than that, but anybody who does photography and was like, that's an amazing job, why would you turn that down? Well, that's the video. It's also in response to an article I read the other day about being a photographer, and it was the list of the 25 worst jobs that you could be, and guess what? Photographer was on that list. It wasn't number one, it was actually at the bottom at number 25, but it's still an interesting conversation to discuss. So basically, the person that would be interested in this kind of video is someone who's just getting started and is dreaming about a job at a company like Netflix doing photography work. And so let's talk about the industry, let's talk about being a photographer, and let's talk about why I turned down my dream job. I guess a couple disclaimers are also needed. One, I wasn't specifically reached out to by Netflix and said, we want to hire you. Netflix does what's called recruiting, where they are going to hire a recruiting company. That person's going to go out, scour the internet to find people that can potentially fill vacant jobs that they're in charge of filling. More so, they also make a commission for every job that they fill. So it's not outlandish that Netflix will reach out to a lot of people that may not be perfect for the position, i.e. myself. But at the same time, it's the mentality, the issue that I'm turning down the opportunity to even apply to work for Netflix. So I wanted to get that disclaimer out there first. They got in touch with me, the recruiting company that is, through LinkedIn, asked me if I was interested in the position for their client Netflix. I'm an independent contractor, and working for Netflix is, they make enough content where I'm like, yeah, I'll take that call. So I took the call, and I'm talking to this guy, and seriously, it sounds like a great job. I love photography. It's not the only thing I do at all, but it's definitely something I really enjoy doing. And so I was talking through the conversation, a lot of things sounded really good, and then I got to the point of asking, where is the job? Because if it was in like Studio City, North Hollywood, Burbank area, totally doable, nice area to live, definitely overpopulated like the rest of LA, but at least better than the corner of Sunset Boulevard and the 101. And if you've lived in LA for more than 5 minutes, you know that that's not a place you want to be. So that being said, I was like, yeah, man, I'm going to have to pass on the job. And he goes, well, what is it specifically? And here's what it is specifically. And this is not only on photography, but the whole industry, living in LA, coming here to be in the business. You normally get started as an independent person making videos because you enjoy making them and you want to make them, and you have art inside of you that's burning to get out, hopefully. That quickly goes away when you move to LA. When you come here and get to work, what you have to do is put aside your side projects, because you don't have time for those, because you got to work to pay the insane bills. My rent for a single family 3-bedroom home with 1 bathroom, about 1,100 square feet, ran me $36,000 in rent last year. That's more than the average teacher makes on a yearly basis. So you need to work so hard just to get yourself a reasonable place to live. And which goes back to the why I turned down the Netflix job. Because it's in Hollywood, on the corner of the 101 and the Hollywood Boulevard, you have to live in either an apartment style or pay upwards of $5,000 a month for a single family home. $5,000 a month, it's like, what is that, $60,000 a year for rent. Not doing that. So you end up working all the time just to pay, and that's just rent. That's not before cable, internet, cell phone, car insurance, food. God forbid you have a kid, daycare, like a relationship, going out, like you need clothes, you need water to drink. Forget it. You can forget your own projects. You're literally going to be just working all the time. Furthermore, even if I got that insane apartment or single family home in Hollywood, you walk outside of your barred windows, because your windows are going to have bars on them because it's overpopulated, and outside your door are 44,000 homeless people. And I've been homeless before. I have nothing against homeless people. But it's not an environment where I'm going to move my family and 1-year-old daughter. It's not going to happen, especially to pay insane rent, just to walk down the street, check into an office cubicle, probably, maybe an office with a window. and spend 8 hours a day looking at 80,000 to 150,000 images a day and trying to whittle that down to 100 images. And and that sounds like fun for about 15 minutes. And then I'm going to be done. I'm going to need something else. And I'm definitely going to need some video in my life. So those are a couple of the mental acuities, mental gymnastics that I went through as I'm in the middle of this conversation, turning down my dream job. So 5 years ago, I would have killed somebody for that job. If you're single and you're hungry and you're just getting to LA, well, guess what? That might not be the worst situation because you can get a cheap studio apartment in Hollywood for, you know, $1,500, $2,000. And you can work during the week and you can make some great connections. The thing about doing that job, you wouldn't end up just there. You could literally go anywhere once you're in that company, unless you're a female. I hear that they have a pretty high glass ceiling, or rather low glass ceiling for females in that company. And so at this point, I would encourage you, if you're a young person who's hungry to get into the business, which is why you're probably watching this video. I can't imagine too many old timers watching this unless they just want to hear somebody else bitch, which is exactly what I'm doing. That to get your foot into a door of a job like this would be great, and you don't mind living with doors in your windows. If you're single, you don't have kids, and you don't have a girlfriend, and you just want to get into the business, well, guess what? You're not going to get this job at Netflix because it's a director position. You might get a job as a PA or something like that on the set, or working for one of the photographers on the set, and that's a great place to start, and I encourage you to do that because you really just have to get your sweat equity out there. You got to do your 200 letters or your 10,000 hours or your 1,000 mistakes, whatever you want to call it. You got to put that time in. And so furthermore, not only did I reject the job, I'm rejecting LA in general because of the things that I discussed. I don't want to work just to pay bills. That's retarded. I'm going to go to the country where the cost of living is less than half of here. I'm going to work 2 days a week. I'm going to spend the other 5 days a week making art that I'm interested in. That's the purpose. That's the whole thing. That's the genesis. Because I used to make films because I wanted to, and then I came here and quickly it just diminished until all of a sudden I realized that I was spending 8 hours a day editing reality shows that'll never go anywhere. I'm tired of it. I don't need it. And what I need is space. I need my own studio. I'm not gonna $36,000 a year for rent here. You think I can afford studio space? I mean, maybe if I rent it by the hour, but I need a place that I can build out of. I need a prop room. I need a light room. I need a studio space. And I'm just not going to get that in LA. I'm going to go, and I've been watching these other YouTubers who have been doing this for a while, like myself. And I feel like this is actually a common theme right now is you don't need the industry anymore. You can definitely, and you haven't needed the industry for quite some time. Some of my biggest mentors will not use the industry for distribution. Self-distribution is the only way. So, you know, times are a-changing. There's no question about it. And especially for me. I did my 5 years here in LA. I got some great skills down. I encourage anybody who is young, who wants to make films and get good at them, come here and get your hours in, because working with some amazing DPs and directors and producers in town on some projects have taught me what you're looking at right now. 3-point lighting, coloring, you know, edge lighting, proper audio, no lav clip. I mean, and I'm just in my garage. So, you know, you learn how to do these things, do them quickly, efficiently, and by yourself. And now I own my equipment, I own my knowledge, I own my debt, I paid off my student loans, and I'm out of here, folks. I'm gonna go build a studio in the woods, and if it fails, guess what? LA will always be here. You can always come back, because this place is just come and go of people, nonstop. So, I think that's all of the notes that I had. Takeaways. Know what you want and don't want it if you're not sure. Oh, this is important. Okay, yeah, one last note. If you're wondering, this is also, again, why I'm leaving LA. It's important for you as you grow in your career to look at people who are successful in your career on a personal level. And so great opportunities that I've been, you know, able to get myself involved with here. I've been able to look at directors, producers who have been in this industry, even actors who have been in this industry 20 or 30 years and where they are today. No one is up on Hollywood Hills. Everyone is down in the valley, over in Burbank, living on a tenth of an acre, underneath Bob Hope Airport with airplanes taking off every 10 minutes. It's not a glamorous future. You know, we really have this false ideology that you're going to come out here and make it. And this entire town is devised on that idea and is a business model of people who come out here hopefully to make it. There is no making it. There is no glitz and glamour of Hollywood. You see the things like the Avengers premiere that came out the other night, and that looks like glitz and glamour. And it is for like 10 minutes. But the rest of the time is nothing but grueling hard work for every single person involved. It is cutthroat. You will step on your friends to make your own successes, and they will step on you to do the same. It's an unfortunate reality because it's just completely overpopulated in this area of the world, of the country. So, but I did it. I came out here. I was successful. You can too if you want to. And then you just have to know your values. What do you value now? What is the thing that you value most? And for me, it's quality of life. I don't care who remembers me or what projects I work on. When I die, the only people that care about me are my kids. And then a generation after that, we're all forgotten anyway. So enjoy your time on life. Enjoy your time on earth, you know. Make things because you want to, not because you have to pay bills. I guess that's my point. So, from a dad in a bunker, thanks for listening to me, bitch.